25 years Racer Magazine's been around, but one of the great Racer Magazine stories is, even though you've on the Ganassi Motorsports team and drivers have been on the cover, I think 21 times, you were one of the first investors in Racer Magazine because you called Paul Fanner. And tell us that story.
Well, I don't. That's a good question. I'm trying to remember it myself. I think, you know, the first thing I remember about Racer Magazine was I walked into Mum's Restaurant here in Long Beach one night, and there was Fanner with his new magazine he was doing, and I was all excited with the team of people he had put together, including yourself and a couple other famous journalists at the time, and I remember buying everybody. I bought everybody dinner, and at Mum's Restaurant. So that was my initial investment.
And an ad you were one of the first issues. You bought an ad.
I bought an ad. I remember, and I was a big fan of Paul Fanner in those days, and to this day, I'm still a fan of his.
Mikey, you have a different relationship with Fanner because you were his driver coach.
Well, I didn't give him his license the first time. I told him he had to come back. But at CCA driver school, he just needed a little work on his craft a little bit. But had a relationship with Paul for over 40 years. People learn to hate each other in racing. We've learned to like each other, and I love Paul, and I love what he does, and I like the fact that he thinks outside the box. And Racer Magazine, the quality of the magazine and what it represents, and the broad spectrum of what it does is pretty special.
Chip, the other thing is, you obviously, Le Mans, NASCAR, you're all over the map, but this is the one constant all these years that's still been here. I mean, it's all we've got on open wheel, basically.
You know, it's a small group of people, but it's expanding, and it's because of people like Paul Fanner and his commitment to this type of racing, and obviously stands as one of the pillars of the sport.
When you guys see this cover, I mean, I don't care. Chip comes over and sees that. It's like, brother, I don't know if there'll ever be any greater era than that was, just in terms of all the things that were going on, all the cars, all the money in the series, but the characters like Zanardi.
I mean, what can you say? Today, when you say Zanardi, everybody smiles, don't they? I mean, it's fantastic to have been part of that. That era was very, very special. We had great drivers all the way through that time when we had lightning bolts on the car, and it was wonderful. I think as time goes on, people will reflect back and really understand how special it was.
I think the other thing that's interesting is you were an aspiring race driver, you were teaching driver school and getting free practice at the end of the day. You ended up making a career out of racing. Fanner ends up making a career. You don't know at that time what's going to happen or how your paths are ever going to cross.
No, you really don't. But I think what you have in racing is you have each other. And the unionization of that between people and the longevity of that, the staying power of that, it diminishes a bit with the number of people that are still around, but it's really great with people in particular like Paul to just be able to pick up the phone and call him and talk to him, and he does the same, and it's really been wonderful.
Chip, you bought an ad in the very first Racer, and you got one in the 25th. Congratulating him. The ad rates, are they affordable?
They are, and I just want to add to what Mike was saying. You know, the thing about this business, Robin, you can talk about results and about wins and losses, but it's about people at the end of the day, whether it's Paul Fanner or Alex Zanardi or Mike Hull or Robin Miller. You know, it's about people, and that's what's so great about being here.